Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 98 of this awesome, amazing Osu Let's Play series. In the last episode, I talked about the matchmaking system and just gave my thoughts on Osu having an elo slash solo queue ladder type ranking system in the first place. And in this episode, I want to talk a bit about Osu culture and sort of the extent of its existence in this game, especially with such a community-oriented game. I think it is really, really cool. It's like just the dynamic of culture that exists in this game. So I'll talk about that. And before I get into the actual episode, I'd like to shout out, as usual, that I live stream every single day over at twitch.tv. So that'll be linked in the description. But if you want to hang out with me or watch me play this game live or ask me questions, anything like that, please stop by, say hello. And also, bonus points if you tell me that you came from this Let's Play series. We'll be very, very happy to see you there. So, yes, culture, I think, is really important, I would say, for sort of the long-term health of a game and, or really just a community in general. But more specifically for Osu, I think like the long-term health of a game and its community, I think if you get it wrong, then like the culture of a game can really drive people away. I think you see this with the most iconic example I can think of is like League of Legends, where people are like, oh, the game's so toxic, blah blah blah, and honestly, I think like the polar opposite to that is a game like Teamfight Tactics, where it's almost like the complete opposite. So yeah, just my 2 cents on that, but Osu definitely being a game that literally is created by its community more or less. I think, let me think of how to put this. So okay, so let's talk about country culture. Okay, so coupled with the fact that Osu is a super international game and like everyone just has like full reign to interact with each other, like there's no like regional servers or anything like that. Everyone is just there. And I think a big thing about Osu, or okay, really, and then this also somewhat applies to Teamfight Tactics, and I guess most other games that are online and you can interact with others. I think the extent to which the other people in the game affect your own gameplay determines the toxicity of the community. So in games where it's completely team oriented and like 5 versus 5 or whatever, MOBAs or FPS games or things like that, you get a lot of natural toxicity because it's like, oh, it's just RNG. Whoever is on your team, if they're good, then you win, and then if they're bad, then you just lose, and there's nothing you can do about it. And on the other hand, games like Osu or even Teamfight Tactics, it's a very individual, like the decisions that you make or like your own skill is what usually determines the sort of outcome of your performance. Or if not, then it's definitely not other people, right? So like you might get bad RNG in Teamfight Tactics, or your game might lag in Osu and it's like, oh man, nice game client. Or you might no luck and it's like, oh yeah, nice game. But yeah, let's see. Oh, long stream. So with such a sort of individualistic culture, but then also at the same time, like the community aspect of like everyone sort of interacting with each other, I think it actually creates a really positive environment for people to hang out in and meet other people as well. I think that's actually really important. Osu is one of those games. Okay, a lot of other game communities, you could play like 10,000 hours and never really make any friends from the community itself. But Osu is definitely one of those games that is not like that. You can just go to multiplayer and just like start talking to people, and I think the in-game chat system and just the fact that everything is just there, okay? Like, everything is just there. And I personally think that that's very cool. It's I think one of the things that keeps a lot of people in this game is the people that they end up meeting, even if it's just like random, random encounters or Like, I don't know, you never know. A lot of the people that I met when I was very early on in this game were, it was just people that I would see around, and then we could just play multiplayer or share scores with each other and just talk about random stuff. And yeah, I think that was very cool. More games. Actually, maybe not. I was gonna say more games should be like this, but that might not end well. I think Osu has a very particular culture around it. So yeah. So with that said, I also want to talk about, yeah. So country culture in particular is actually very. So there's like global culture, I guess, like the whole Osu community, and that is largely the English-speaking community, things like that. Yeah, basically the English-speaking community is what's sort of seen as the global community, since the game is run largely in English, and a large majority of the game community sort of speaks English. So you have like the official subreddit and even like the official Twitter accounts, things like that. So even beyond that, within the English-speaking community, you have like sub sections, like pretty much each country, but then also like different like types of people, like people that play the game in certain ways, like easy mod players, or mappers, or I don't know, people who make skins, or people that just hang out on the Osu forums, things like that. And by the way, the Osu forums, very interesting place to be. But if you've never checked out the Osu forums, then you can take a stroll through there. There's definitely stuff there to explore. It's very interesting. It depends on which sub forum you go to, obviously, but yes, I digress. So yeah, I think it's actually okay. So a lot of people, I've talked to some people that are like, oh, like X player is really popular like within their country, or like it's like this meme only within X country. And honestly, biggest example of a country that's like that has this sort of culture is probably Poland. Poland definitely, they've got something else going on. I don't even know. It's crazy. But I mean, obviously every country has their own culture, but like even obviously outside of Osu, but I think the fact that people are just all there for you to interact with, and honestly a lot of people are really nice, and with that in mind, a lot of people just kind of have their Osu messages open as well. Also the fact that you can like spectate people, and then like it'll show, and you can like hang out in the spectator chat. Another thing, okay, so a note to like people who are learning a language, even if you're learning English, but there's always people out there you can like talk to native speakers. There's like language learning apps that are out there. It's like, oh, connect with native speaking speakers of certain language that you're learning, and it's like, oh, the problem with those apps is like, what do you even talk about, right? But with Osu, you just message anyone from a certain country, and it's like, hey, let's talk about Osu in that language or something. So yeah, I think Osu is a pretty cool place to be. And honestly, culture is really, how do I put this? It keeps people engaged with the game as well. I think if there was just like no culture, or very bland culture, like Osu, okay, being one of those games that sort of has a record of maintaining history of everything that's happened in the community, like scores are always there forever, no matter how long ago they have been set, things like that. And I think that's sort of premise, not really premise, but the way that Osu is run in that way, you guys know what I mean, okay? I think it sort of cultivates people to, stick around and, just I don't know, have a good time. I think it's cool. I don't know how else to put it. But yeah, and you might also see, so something else that people do is like, since people are like your avatar and stuff is all visible, then something that people do are like avatar collabs, where this one, for example, this is a collab avatar where they like take a let me see if it's on user page. Oh, what where's the me section? Okay, anyway, basically like each person has like a matching picture, or like their avatars are like a screenshot of different characters in the same image. And just sort of connecting with each other. I think it's very cool. The extent to which you can meet people. Oh, okay, this is an avatar collab. Okay, see how the font is kind of the same, and the art style is kind of similar as well. This is an avatar collab for the Osu World Cup. This is Team Japan, I'm sure. This is Japan. Let's go. And then my avatar, actually, which I've mentioned in a previous episode, but obviously this American flag in the background. So this is a collab with some with the American World Cup team. Let me see if I can find any of them here. Okay, probably not. Sapphire Ghost. Let's go. Okay, yeah, but anyway. Oh, here for sure. Here for sure. Harrison, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Yep. So matching avatars, basically. So things like that, just sort of connecting with each other, I think, is really, really cool. But yes, anyway, let's see. Okay. This song is so good. Okay, country rankings are actually another thing that is really cool. So if you do have supporter, I would suggest, especially if you're from a smaller country, connecting with, or just like, I don't know, competing on the country rankings. Sometimes that's how people find you. A lot of people, I think, especially in smaller countries, I can't really speak from personal experience because I've only ever been from one country. But yeah, I've definitely heard a lot of people say that, you know, they mostly compete on the country rankings, and they, you know, can find other people that, you know, play similar maps to them, or like set similar scores, or are at similar skill levels. Like you might start recognizing someone on your country ranking that like has a lot of scores, but they're all like maybe A rank or B rank, and it's like, hey, you know, we're around the same skill level, and you know, you can connect with them, or just, you know, secretly try to beat their scores. And also the system of like adding each other in this game, like the friend list in this game, is actually really cool. Also, that you can add people and just like, yeah, the friend list is one way basically. Like you can add someone, but it's not a friend request. It's just like you add them to your friend list, and you can just use it to keep track of their online status, or to have them show up on the friend leaderboard, which I think is, the most practical use of the friend list, to be honest, as far as like, you know, competing with other people or interacting with other people score wise. You can also use it to like see if anyone's online. You can add people after you play multiplayer, and then if you want to play with them again, see if they're online, send them an invite, things like that. But yeah, let's see. Overall, Osu, okay, you guys might be like, oh, OMG, Osu culture is so weird, but I don't know. I think as with any community, there's no such thing as like the community at large. There's only like subsections of the community, and I think just it really depends who you run into, or like which corner. It's kind of like the school cafeteria. Okay, it just depends who you sit with, you know. So yes, those I think are largely my thoughts. Personally, I must suggest the wonderful world of Osu University. If you guys want a Discord server to hang out in, is this improvement-focused Osu hub that I created. Actually very active, and oh, there's a stream at the end. Okay, active and supportive community, and they are just waiting for you to come hang out with them. And we do top player interviews. We do a whole bunch of stuff. But Shield, look at this guy, crazy. This guy is so good. Okay, anyway. Wait, these badges actually look so cool. This badge, actually, they all look really cool. Okay, anyway. All right. So anyway, hopefully you guys sort of learned something or absorbed a bit of Osu culture from this episode. But yes, that is going to do it. If you guys have suggestions for future episode topics, do leave them in the comment section, and I will be sure to look at them. I do read every comment on these videos. So also check out my YouTube channel, watch my other videos, and also stop by my Twitch streams, hang out with me. You guys are super awesome. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I will see you guys next time.